back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be all about KAS, otherwise known as KASPA. And what we've seen in the market recently is absolute mayhem with KASPA, meteoric rise to the upside, massive green candles. People on Twitter now shouting that the pump is going to continue much higher. And it may well do that. However, I want to air a bit of caution to the wind here for KASPA because we've seen this price action play out many times with coins in the past where we then go in and put 50 or even 60% corrections. So what I want to do is just dive into the higher, medium and lower time frame here for KASPA to the clues that we're potentially getting for some retraces in the market and what we can potentially be looking out for with Fibonacci confluence, and obviously going into a little bit of Elliott wave and the order block analysis today. So guys, if you do like the video, give it a like. Any comments, subscriptions, always appreciated. I have put some higher targets on KASPA on the Patreon that I've recently set up, so if you want to check that out, just check in the link in the description. Really just putting some exits and entry strategies on for some different coins and doing requests on there. And a lot of people was messaging me on Twitter, and I was trying to find time to reply to them all, but obviously having the Patreon makes it a lot easier to filter out the people who get first priority now. So yeah, it was what the people asked for, so I set it up. If you do want to join on there, it's £10, £10 a month, £2 a week. You know, people average out of a price of a coffee for a week, so try to keep it reasonable. Just diving straight into it, we're going to keep it on the 3 daily time frame here, not too much price action to go off. So I think the 3 daily time frame is one of those that we can get some real significance from. Sometimes it can be the monthly and weekly time frames, but I think the 3 daily time frame here on KASPA has given us enough clues as to where the market might want to come back to. So the first thing I want to do is just let's take a zoomed in perspective here of the first initial pump for KASPA. And really when you start to see them bullish breaker candles, you know, we had a range set here for KASPA, and the first candle that went to break that range, the big bullish candle right here, take a look at the bottom of that big bullish candle. Where did the market end up coming back to? It was right down to the bottom of that big bullish candle. And again, let's make note, you know, we've got a big pump to the upside again coming from KASPA to break the range. Once again, another perspective, big bullish breaker candle right here. What happened? That wick came back down to fill the big bullish breaker candle, and once again, you know, we saw an extra pump to the upside, the big bullish breaker candle here. Is it any coincidence where the market came back to? Let's take a look at that. The market fell below that bullish breaker and even came back to the first initial one of this range break. So what we see in KASPA is, and any other coin, the big bullish candle range breaks to the upside are often filled in the future. So it doesn't matter how quick or how long it takes. All we know is that the likelihood is that them bullish breaker candles are gonna come in and get filled. So another perspective we can look at here, a range break to the upside. Look at that big bullish candle breaker. Where are we likely to come back to in the future? I would argue that this zone right here for KASPA is where we're likely to come back to in the future. So right now, as we see the market absolutely send it to the upside, take a look at how far above we are that big bullish candle breaker. We're currently from that bullish candle about 163% above there. So I would argue right now, although KASPA could go up even more, we've seen it with coins like Pepe where it gets the range break and goes up more than 100%, and oftentimes it is more than 300%. So we could go up to about 21 or even the 30 cents regions. I did put a bit of a clue out about the 30 cents region on my Patreon, but the likelihood is in the future, no matter how high we go, we're going to probably come back to this level. So from current levels, I'm not saying it's the top here because we've got a little bit of a clue to say on the lower time frame. It's probably not the top, but even from that level, it's about a 65% correction. Imagine if we went all the way up here. That correction is akin to a massive bear market crash in Bitcoin, 78%. So it's not too attractive for me at this moment in the market for KASPA. Other coins like Kev and other coins like Polkadot are still really low. Other coins like Polkadot and Kev still in sort of like this phase of the market rather than being right up here. So Make no mistake about it, there's been a massive accumulation phase going on for KASPA. One accumulation phase, two accumulation phases, three accumulation phases. Is this just embedding the psychology of one, two, three? Now everyone thinks they're a genius, everyone wants to jump in the market on the biggest bullish breaker candle to the upside. Could it be that the market is setting up for a potential correction to the downside where KASPA comes in and fills that big bullish breaker candle on the 3 daily time frame order block right here? It is the last area of demand. So I've seen this many times before. Not only that, we've seen it with a coin like Pepe, and you can argue that the fundamentals and the time difference here is different, but I like to stay away from narratives and I like to stay away from all emotional aspects of the market. I don't really care about the fundamentals of KAS. I don't really care about the fundamentals of Pepe, if there is any or if there isn't any. The price action is what interests me the most. Um, so realistically, it could be argued right now that we're in a zone here for KASPA, as if we was here for Pepe. So it's almost, if that is not the top of the market here for KASPA, you can bet your bottom dollar that we're pretty close to at least a correction. Let's take a look at how much the correction came down for Pepe there. That was 42%. So when we do start seeing them big bullish candles, little bits of the wicks to the upside, outlining maybe a little bit of weakness in the market, more liquidity taken to the upside, people getting to the point where it's easy mode in the market, and often you will get them 30-40% corrections just coming in. So even from current levels, another 30% correction right now for KASPA would bring you right down to this liquidity level here. So the risk to reward really on the lower time frame, is it really that great? We've seen it happen before. Could it flag out a little bit like Pepe did? Flag out, and send it to the upside even more? Absolutely it could, but make note, take a look at Pepe here. Get that off there. Take a look at Pepe when it went on its final run from the upper bound range, top to top. Let's say that's top. You're not going to catch most of that top, that wick, and you're probably not going to get the bottom either. So we're talking about another 150%. But from the lower levels for Pepe, it was over 1,500%. So realistically, the people who got in at the bottom are absolutely laughing. They're talking the thousands of percent, and the people that are entering now are looking for 100, 150%. The people that chase these big green candles to the upside, are these people going to be investing that much capital to be able to benefit from another 100 to 200% pump? The actual fact is probably not. So when you look at the market and you look how things have transpired in the past, and you just compare side by side accumulation phases, pumps to the upside, bullish break candles, and you take a look at Elliott wave, we could simply be in the third wave here, and I would argue that Elliott wave is best when you're getting in before the third wave. Yeah, you could try and trade the fourth and the fifth wave, but is that good risk to reward? Is it good practice? I would argue probably not, and it's not within my strategy. So people could come back on this video in the future and say, well, KASPA's now $3, $5, and we've just absolutely sent it to the upside. But realistically, if you don't have these risk parameters in your psychology before you're getting into the market, you're going to end up at some point getting wrecked by a coin that pumps and then dumps straight back down. Whether it's KASPA or whether it's not, it does not matter too much of what the coin is. It's all about embedding that psychology to remain profitable in a market where 95% of people lose money. So yeah, absolutely, we could be in the third wave with a much bigger fifth wave to come for KASPA. But when we talk about risk management, it's not something I like to do, chase the big green candles. We've seen in previous price history that KASPA likes to return to the bullish breaker candles, and if not that one, at least this upper wick here to fill this big breaker candle here for the market to at least retrace from current levels. Let's take a look at what it is from the current price. At least about 25%. So leverage longs really right now. I've seen many people jumping into KASPA leverage longs. I think that's a bad idea. But of course, it's not financial advice. I have put some higher time frame targets for KASPA. If you are a long-term investor and you are looking for a bit of an exit strategy, I've put it on my Patreon. Yeah, it's one of those. If you want to jump on it, jump on it. If you don't want to jump on it, I'm not forcing people to join. I will continue to keep uploading to Twitter. I will continue to keep uploading to YouTube. But the priority goes to the members right now with any questions and any future price analysis. So yep, that's me, guys. Just sit back, relax, let the market do the work. It's not financial advice, but I'll see you next time. Cheers.